we're going to start with the background processing. Basically, it's not work processes. So this is again very important topic. So as I said, all the topics which have been listed out in the next in this 15 days or 14 days of course, all of them are important. Okay, so the rest all in your day-to-day work, this is one of the topic which you may have to troubleshoot in day in and day out. Okay, so we will start with this SAP background process. There are total 3 topics. One is about this background processing, and then we have a system start and stop activity, which is also very critical. And then we have SAP note implementation. So that is also important, but you don't do so frequently SAP note implementation. But first 2 activities are very critical, and you have to understand the background and the basics of these activities, especially the second topic. Okay, I will cover this for 1 hour of theory, about this background process, and then we come back and then start with the start of the activities, starting and stopping. So now let's start. So now before I start, as I always do, I ask questions. Why? It is always important, as a basis consultant. So you have to, it's not only the theory part, and then, you understand the concept and stuff. As a basis consultant, you always have to ask yourself whenever you are facing an issue. So why this issue has happened? What could have led to this situation? So this is the mindset you always have to ask. Okay, this was working and this has failed today. What could lead to such a situation? What are my errors? Okay. Do I get some from logs? Do I get some issues? Do I get some hints? So it is always like you have to ask these questions and you have to proceed in that way. That mindset, that common sense or the mindset you always have to develop. So that's why whenever I am preparing these slides, instead of just giving the theory, I always ask you the questions. Okay. Why do we need background processing? First question. And what is a job in a system? And what can be performed in the background? Okay, you are all logging into the TCS user 1, into the system dialog user. Okay, but however, you can do the job. You can run any report or anything you can do with that. So why we have to have a specifically, we need to have a background one, and what can be performed in the background. Okay, if there is a background jobs, what is the strat criteria for them? Okay, that will come at the later point. Okay, jobs have been finalized, and what is the strat criteria? So how these jobs are scheduled or monitored in the system. Okay, and what are the statuses of those jobs? Okay, the last 3 questions keep aside now. So once we dwell into the topic, then I will cover what are they. So first thing, 3 questions you need to understand is what do you need in background processing. Okay, so what is a job? What can be performed in the background? These are the 3 questions you need to understand, basically. So as you can see the definitions, these are the exact SAP definitions. Okay, that's why I put it over here. So background processing should separate long-running or periodic tasks from user interaction. Okay, long-running tasks which could occupy a work process for a long time in dialog can sequentially processed in the background without affecting the dialog performance. Okay, so I'll explain. What does it mean? An important prerequisite is an appropriate sizing of the system. That is, too many background processes could end up competing with the dialog work process for shared resources. For example, main memories. Okay, good. So once you log into the system, okay, you can check. Just go there and do an SM66. Okay, let me do that. So how do I do this? Yeah, let me do this one. So EH8. So I'm just logging to the Steve. So one log. Okay. So now SM66. Okay. You see this thing? You can see the system. So there are dialog. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dialog processes are there. And then you have two updates, UPD and update 2. Okay, you can have dialogues, minimum one dialogue, and maximum you can have any one. And then background also you need to have at least one or two. So BTC, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 are there. Spool minimum you have to have one in the system. Okay. Now the question comes. Suppose if there is a long running job, okay, suppose you have run some statistics report. Okay, I mean you are hitting on SC16 and you open one particular table which has got 1 lakh entries. So that report will run for at least 5 to 10 minutes, or sometimes half an hour or 1 hour. Yeah, 1 million entries, it just takes 5 to 10 minutes, but still it is a long running. I mean, long running. So if you execute it with your TCS user one, logging in and execute, now the problem is this dialog work process. So one dialog work process will be allocated to it, and then it is always in the status on hold. Okay, you see the status because now they are all waiting. So waiting status is nothing but they are waiting for the work to be done. So which is good thing. So running means it is running. So this is the running. So who is this one? So EST user. You can see at the end here column user ID column. So let me put my cursor over there. So this one. So this EST user one is me logged into the system. That's why it says running. But it doesn't mean that one dialog process, each user has one dialog process, then system cannot able. So system will do the multiprocessing. One dialog process can do multiprocessing, okay, which is called work process multiplexing. Okay. So, but for now, just try to understand. So this process will be running as long as you have that long running report or the activity completed. So what happens? All the dialog users. So for example, TCS user 2. So let's say you have scheduled nine people are doing such an activity. Okay, 9 of them. So on the regular jobs or whatever is it, they are running 9 of the people. So which means there is no dialog work process is available in the system, right? So then if TCS user 10 tries to log into the system, it says that, hey, I don't have the resources, and you wait. So that's a problem. So which means the system will not able to allow the other users once these guys, once the dialog process is completed. That is the problem. So this is what is the meaning of this. Background process should separate long running, as I said, statistics report or opening a table or big tables. Okay. Periodic task from user interaction. Periodic task, I will explain you, but for now, understand the long running thing. Okay. So as I said, long running task which could occupy a work process. So I've shown you if that work process occupies the long running work process, dialog work process for a long time. So it can be, it will be processed only sequentially, and it will not let other users to allow. So that's why. So if you schedule it in the background in a sequential way, then dialog work process won't be occupied, and then the other users will be able to log in. So the reason number one, why do we need background processing? Background processing is needed for the long running thing, long running jobs. Okay. And also the periodic tasks. For example, daily there is a status report you have to fill in the morning. Okay. So, I mean, you are a factory owner and you're using an ERP. Every day you have to, or evening at 5 o'clock when you are shutting down the factory. So that guy has to generate a report, a physical report, and lodge it. Okay. So he has to log into the system and again it run. Number one, it could be a long running, or even though it can be a 5 minutes job also. Okay. It cannot take 5 minutes. He can do it in a dialogue mode. But that is again, every day he has to log in and just you see the effort. So what he can do, such a periodic task, so he can put it in a background job. So, and he can schedule that job at daily 5 o'clock or whatever it is, the factory shutdown time. 5 o'clock, schedule it, pull me the so-and-so report. He can define what all has to be. I will explain you. So what all things can be done in a particular, in a job. So he can put it, and then he can also define which printer or where it has to go and print. So he doesn't have to do anything. So at 5 o'clock sharp, before he shut down his company or the factory, so immediately the printer will print his report. Okay, so he can collect it. Simple as that. So that's why this is again, these kind of situations or the facilities had led to SAP's most successful in terms of the ERP, as I said, controlling automation. So you can't call it as an automation, but you see, you assume, take an example of Nestle, who has around 1 lakh factories, small, big, and you name anything, small to medium and big size, 1 lakh factories across the globe. They manufacture chocolates and so on, kids products and so many things, F&M. Okay, so the beauty products there's so many. Nestle has so much portfolio. So 1 lakh factories. So even though it's a small thing, imagine 1 lakh factories, the reports will be generated sharp 5 o'clock in immediate, one or without any manual intervention. Imagine the 1 lakh minutes have been saved. Even though one person, so you calculate like hourly, right? The efforts. So as a company for Nestle, they have saved 1 lakh minutes. So without doing anything. So that's a huge gain, for them. That time. So they can reduce the resources, or that 1 lakh minutes they can put somebody else. I mean, somewhere productive tasks they can use. So that is where SAP has successful in automation. Automating these business processes or helping this. So background is one of them, one of the feature what they have provided. So background can do excellent things without impacting the system or without increasing RAM and CPUs. Okay, that I will explain you. But fine. So how do we define and how do we, there is a concept of operation modes. Okay, you can trigger this system in a night mode, like we have in laptops. Right, recently there is a modes, night mode, and then sleep mode, and then what we have, day mode. Day mode, your phone screen will appear better. Night mode, it will be like dark, or it will save some battery. So that kind of modes we have in SAP also. I will discuss it later. But for now, you understand long running or periodic tasks. So it is always recommended or suggested to do in the background processing. Okay. So again, then if you may think that, then I can schedule a lot of things in the background. Okay. But the problem is, if you schedule too many background processes, it can eat up more memory, and then it can take more CPU. So that will lead to another problems. The dialog users or the end users, whoever logs into the system, they may face latency and connectivity issues. Okay. So as I explained, so the third one, dialog work process would be quickly available for the processing of the end user requests. That it should be, because nobody wants to wait for somebody to complete and then logs into the system. Right? As soon as you log in, you want to do your job. So dialog resources should therefore be used for short running requests. So the process become quickly available again for the other tasks. Okay. So now you understand what you can use dialog work process and what is it needed. I mean, where you use this background concept comes. Okay. So dialog work process, what they do is, how do you define? I mean, how long the dialog process can run. Okay, so I'm not sure if you have experienced it. So if you just log into the system and wait for 5 minutes, so then your 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, so it will close your session automatically. So you can't let the user wait, without doing in the system for longer time in the system. So that's why there is a parameter RBase max work process runtime. So this is the maximum runtime. So if you go to RZ11, or let's see this system, what is this has been defined. So let's go to the RZ11. Okay, so this is how much? 600 seconds. So which is 10 minutes. Okay, so in this particular system, okay, so if it's a kernel default value, they have not said anything. So if you are not doing anything more than 10 minutes, then your process, your work process will get free. Okay. So what I mean, so SM66 again. Yeah. You see here, there is a process allocated to me, process number 5, running with my EST user 1. So if I don't do anything 10 minutes, then this dialog work process, my session will be killed and this dialog work process will get free. Okay, that is what I mean to say. So that is the parameter, important parameter. You check it, because sometimes if you set it too short, right, you see these kind of issues also when you set a new systems at least. Okay, when you develop install a new system for a customer. So by default now SAP is giving 10 minutes. I mean, that's a kernel default, which means with SAP, you will get that one. But some people, over smart people, they will reduce that to 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. So what happens 2 minutes or 3 minutes? So by now my session could have been ended. like that. So people will get intermittent, frequent disconnections. Okay, so then you have to think this perspective. Oh, so how do you troubleshoot such a situation? Simple. Okay, the user is able to log into the system. Perfect. So which means there's no problem with the user ID or the password or the connecting parameters in SAP GUI, right? So, or at least you can establish that to a certain extent that my what we call login is possible to the system, or network is okay. I mean, I can't say the network thing perfect, but it's okay. He's able to system, but it is getting disconnected frequently. Okay, so I'm multiple people are reporting it. Then definitely it's a problem of the time, maximum runtime for the dialog work process. What is defined in the system is a problem. So then what you have to do? You have to correct the parameter, check the parameter, and increase it to some 2 minutes to 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and don't increase it to 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Again, if you increase it to 30 minutes or 40 minutes, what happens? Again, the problem. So that guy will be there in the system for long run, then others don't have a process. So set it to certain logical value. Okay, so some 10 minutes or 15 minutes max. I don't recommend more than that. So now you understand. So that is how you have to troubleshoot the dialog thing. So if a guy comes and if you notice that the other problem, other people are not, another situation, other people are not at all getting a login. Okay, as long as some people are running using the system, then again problem. You come here and set the other way around. Oh, what is the parameter set? They have set it to 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Okay, these guys are not getting out of the system. And you can also see what they are running here. Executed program. You can see here, right? Executed program or executed, what is they doing? You can find it. So this guy is running such a heavy report. Then you can ask him, hey, why are you running with the dialog user? Okay, let me schedule it in the background. You can help them. Okay, or you can suggest them, don't do such tasks in the foreground or using the dialog thing. You always do in the background. Or so please do let us know if you are doing it in a regular basis, so we can also schedule a job. It's just that you have to go there in one particular transaction. I will tell you later. Just see if your job is finished, and if you need a printing, so do let us know. We will configure accordingly. So it's a one-time activity. So then the problem will be solved. You got it? So two problems. So if you have a short too short also, there is a problem. I mean, users get frequently. And if you define long also, there is a problem. So each one has a solution. Okay. So now I think you have got some background of this whole thing. Let me go to the presenter. Good. Now you understood, right? What is the dialog mode? What is the background mode? And when do we need? So did I answer all these three questions? Why do you need background process? Yes. Okay. Good. So what is a job? Job is nothing but the repetitive task can be scheduled in a job, and what can be performed in the background? As I said, long running or periodic tasks can be put in the background. So first three questions, now I think you got a clear understanding of what were there. So now next go to the next slide. Okay. Again, the same question, which I already answered. But in a more technical terms, I will explain you in a diagram pictorial way so that you will remember it. Why background processing needed? First question. Okay. So use background processing for the following reason. These are the exact terms. So reduce the load on the dialog resources. As I said, reduce the load on the dialog resources means if it is a 30 minutes, if that person works on it, so until that 30 minutes the work is completed, the process is not available, then others have to wait. And then schedule regular tasks. Okay. So same explanation what I have provided you. So here, so reduce the dialog. So in this diagram, you can see reduce the load on the dialog, and then you use the background. It is like, dialog is like cycle. Quickly you can do it, but car is like long running. I mean, if you want, you can't go cycling for 100 200 kilometers. You use the car, right? Same kind of thing. For shorter distances, cycle is the best option. So parking and everything is easy. But longer distances, car is always a recommended one. And the other reason is scheduling. So repetitive tasks. For example, month-end report. One example I've shown when the factory is shutting down, the guy wants a report. The other example in BW system especially. So BW, it's more of a data-loaded system. Okay, as I explained you, right, in a business suite. Business suite consists of ERP, BW, and CRM, SRM, and other systems. So BW is like more of a data ocean. So it has a lot of data. So there, monthly reports has to be scheduled. Monthly reports, generally, they will fetch the data from long, big tables and then put it as a report. So that runs longer time. So what they do, month end, 29th or 30th of the month. So every month they will schedule a job and they will let the job finish. And as I said, there is a output where they have to send output. That option is also available in the background job. Okay. So these are the two main reasons. Okay. Background processing is needed. Okay. So now let's go to the next slide. Good. So this again. So before I show you in the system, you just get the basics of what I'm explaining. Okay. Then it is very easy for you to relate and troubleshoot. Okay. If you have this understanding. So then now comes to the question. What is a background job? Okay. Technical terms. Now, okay, we got the overview, why we need and what we do. But, sorry, what is the background job? Technically. Okay. So a job contains one or more steps. Okay. So a step, I will explain you the term step and then I will show you also. A step can be an web program, an external command, or an external program. Okay. So logically you understood what was the so what can be done logically, long running or periodic tasks, but technically what are those tasks? Okay. So a steps can be an ABAP program, so possibly with variant. I will tell you what is variant. So indirectly that job or that long running task is at the end of the day it could be a program or an external command. I mean, you want to run something on the operating system. Okay. Let me operating system or a database. For example, this is DB13 backups you schedule, right? Backups you schedule. I don't know if you heard of update statistics. Okay. Whenever you do too much of inserts or transports, imports into the system, you do update these statistics. So, or they will schedule every monthly, twice or thrice. There is a schedule defined for those things on database. So like an external command, I mean, they want to run that particular updates command, I mean, SQL command on a database. So such kind of commands you can execute. And an external program. So a program which you want to run, which is not part of, it's not an SAP specified program, but still you want to customize the program. For example, you go to an OS level and you want to see all the files, ls minus lt or whatever is it. So you want to see some query you have to send. Okay, find me the files of so and so date to so and so date on the file system level. So such kind of things you can put it in the job. So basically, the job contains one or more steps. That particular step you can have an ABAP program or an external command or external program. Okay. I will explain in detail what is ABAP program, what are things an ABAP program is, what is an external command, what is in the next slide. But for now, you understand this. In job, you can keep a step. Step can be any of these three things. Okay. In addition to the planned start time, you can differentiate between 6 other job priorities. Okay. Let's say you have so start time. So every day 5 p.m. that guy has scheduled. Okay, the factory guy, as I said, for to send a report. So now there are priorities. Okay. So now these 1 lakh factories I told, 1 lakh people executing at the same time on the system. Okay. Then it can cause a system to go little hang or performance issues or whatever is it. So let's suppose 1 lakh people, all of them are trying to get the report at the same time. So how does but whereas you have only 100 or 200 work process free background, let's say you have only 100 background process. Okay. How does the system understands out of these 1 lakh entries or 1 lakh reports which people have requested, how many of them I have to process and which of them I have to pick as on priority? You understand what I'm trying to say? Which of these 1 lakh reports I have to first pick and complete, and then I proceed with the next ones. So background job will never tell you that, I'm not able to do it, but it will tell you if it crosses certain thing, it crashes the system. That's a different story. But background job always has some conditions or the priorities defined, when you are defining the job. So out of those 1 lakh jobs, I will show you what is this, where you can define this class A, class B, class C. Okay. So class A job with target server group always takes the priority. Okay. So first understand the priorities. You have class A, class B, and class C. So class A is the topmost priority one. So you have this 1 lakh jobs, and out of them, so it will pick the class A and it will complete. Okay. So in that class A also there is another section of people. Okay, with target server, without target server. Okay, that I will explain. But for now, you understand it will pick you only the class A jobs, and then it will process. Once the class A completes, then it will pick the class B jobs. Once the class B completes, then it will pick the class C jobs. This is the sequence. Okay. So target server specified or not, this we will discuss. I will come to this point and explain you in more detail when we are in the SM36. Okay. So it's a random, but jobs are green jobs. Okay. Yeah, this I will explain. Don't worry. I'll come back again to this one. Okay. Now let's go to the next. So now it is clear, guys. So what can be done in a step? An ABAP program, external command. There will be a question in certification on this topic. That's why I put the slide exactly as it is. Okay. So class A, class B, class C. So understanding that would be more than sufficient for now. Now let's proceed. What can be performed in the background? So as I said, you can define a program, a web program, or an external program, or an external command in a particular job step. Okay. So this is what I have put here, both these things. Okay. Background job priorities I've explained. At the moment, you have class A, highest priority, class B, medium priority, if you want to put it in terms. Class C is the normal priority. Okay. So now comes the next question. Okay, fine. You can do these three things through the background job. Most of your jobs, okay, how do you define? Class C, we define most of them with the normal priority. I mean, if you don't want to spoil your system's performance, don't use this high priority or medium priority. But however, high priority also very important when, let's say during the month end, you need a report, okay, for a BW system, from a BW system. So then you want to have those reports on that particular day because you have to close month end closer. I'm not sure if you have heard this term. So they will close that month end and they will forecast or they will report it, this month. So you see these car sales, right, every month. Okay, this month, Creta has done so and so excellent sales, and then they compared to the last year. This month, the percentage of increase in sales or reduction in sales, 20% increase and 20% decrease in sales. Those are nothing but the month-end reports. So almost every company will do that month-end report. Okay, this also you need to understand because these are the functional terms. But however, the functional guys comes and tell you that, hey, my jobs are failing, but it's good to have this background. So these month-end reports. So these month-end reports will have that sales report or the revenue what we generated or profit and loss details. Okay. Now on the 30th of every month, okay, I mean, you want that job to be finished, no matter whatever happen in this system, right? So you have this DB13 update statistics, and there are many people who have these jobs, but you want that job to be prioritized and you want it to run for sure, no matter what happens. Okay. Irrespective of the performance issue, no matter your end users are not working or anything. No, 30th, you need that report because you have to legally and you have to forecast it and you have to announce to the world or the shareholders, right? If you don't announce to the shareholders, then they will get panic. Your shares will fall down. So they have to announce it. So such kind of critical reports, okay, which are absolutely needed. So those things you put it on the class A, high priority. Okay, you want it to be run no matter. And if you still want to put some more priority, you define. So load balancing, I've explained you, right? So let me, I come to that point of server point also. Load balancing, I've explained you. What happens load balancing when you log into the group server? I mean, from the log GUI. So message server first checks which application server has the less work or which is free, and then it will process that request to additional application server 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever is it to that particular application. So same way, background also can do. If you define the background, the group server, So I will show you what it will. So background processing group.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
So once you define it, so what happens is you do a load balancing again. Okay, it will pick the whichever additional. So similar concept, whichever server has the less load, then it will pass the request. So now class A with single, so two ways you logged into the SAP GUI system. One way is using the custom application server, like I showed you. I mean, the ones which you are using. So you directly log in with one application server without using load balancing directly, because it's a single node system. So there is only one server. There is no point in talking about load balancing. You got it right. Suppose if you have the two servers, two application servers, then you need to have the load balancing for sure. Okay. So same concept. So load balancing, how it happens, same way. If you define a job with, you take only application server 1, okay, class A application server 1, and there is another job which is defined as a class A, and then you have defined the logon group or the load balancing group. So which one takes the priority? You got my question, guys? Clear? If you understand this, then it is very clear. So you have a top priority class. There is a job 1, job 2. Okay. Job 1 is with the class A priority. Job 2 also class A priority. But for job 1, you have defined directly which application to use. You go and execute on the application server 1. That's it. And job B, you put a group server. I mean, wherever you have to execute. So now which one will take priority? Which job will start first? So the answer is a class A job. So wherever there is a server defined, okay, you go and execute on my server, app 1 or app 2 or app 3 or application 3. So if you define, you execute me on my application server, that will take the priority. So group server or the load balancing thing will take the second priority. So that is what this previous slide is explaining. Okay. So you see the screen, a class A job with target server group will take the first priority, and then class A job without target server group. So it's, I mean, you come in a different way. So which means you have not defined anything for the job. I mean, you didn't mention that where you want to execute this job, but so either server or server group you have defined for the class A job. I mean, I think I have not explained you properly that question. Class A job with target server group. Okay. You go and execute me on this particular, you can mention app 1 or app 2 also. I mean, the server or group. That's why it has kept in, I explained, group basically. So server or group, whatever you have mentioned, that particular job will take priority over the job with the same priority without mentioning anything. Okay. This I will show you in the system after some time. But for now, you understand that where we have defined this, that will take the priority. Or let me show you this thing quickly. SM36. So I'm going to introduce you to two main transactions today. So SM36, which is used to schedule the jobs. Okay, this will come. And now, I mean, if you want to create a new job, so then you have SM37, where you monitor this job status, etc. So now execute. So you see, I see 3 jobs which has been in a release status. I will explain you what is this release status and all. So now this is the job. So let's say the start condition. We add equal values, nothing. Schedule start. So this is the start conditions, nothing but schedule start. So no start after. I mean, you can put that as well. Operation mode, day or night mode will be there. That I will introduce you later. I mean, next sessions, I think. So after an event or after a job. Okay. So for now, pre-success job selection. No, this is the one. Okay. So here you see target. So this is what I am referring. So there is no target defined over here. I mean, where this job has to execute. Suppose if you define a target here, okay, see here, server, SAP ECC HP8. So if you define a target, then the job with this target group defined will take the priority. This is what I mean to say. So in this case, this guy thought, I mean, this job is absolutely very least prior system. That's why he has not defined any target server. If you think a job with the top priority, what you do, job class, you will schedule A. So here you can see A, high priority, B, middle priority, C, low priority. You set it to high priority and you also define the target. Okay. What is the target group? Where you want to execute that? Then it takes the priority over anything else because it knows where to execute, what is its priority, then it will proceed and it will execute in the first priority thing. So here you see the job frequency daily. That way will come when we come to this case. So now you hope you got the background of what I'm trying to explain. Okay, this thing. Now, good. So what can be performed in the background? Okay. So as I said, each job step can contain a web program, external command, or an external program. So now let's see the job step. Okay. So where are step? So if you just go, so how do you check this one? Back. I mean, first I will give you some glimpse of how it is, then I'll go in theory so that you know what I'm talking in the system. So let's click a step. Okay. See, this is what I mean step. When you click on the step, you see a program, SAP PR, SAP ABAP program. This is what I mean. So here you can find either an ABAP program. This job will actually run an ABAP program. Okay. Or external command or an external program. So just click on this step, go to the job and check the step. Then you will find what is that particular job exactly doing. Okay. That is what I am talking. So in a job, you can the activities are done by a step. That is the correct word. Step. And then in the step, you will do program command. And this is also an interview question or an certification question. What are the things a job can do under what? So a job can have a steps, multiple steps the job can have. Okay, not only one, but a step can do only these things. An ABAP program or external command or external program. Okay. So ABAP program is straightforward. So anything you want to do in this system, okay, in an SAP system, you run an ABAP program indirectly. No matter you execute SC16 or SC22, whatever the transactions you execute, right? SU01, SU10, whatever I explained yesterday, anything indirectly calls for an ABAP program. Okay, because it's an ABAP, it's the coding language and this one. So it is straightforward. Okay, and then you can define a variant. Okay, so here in ABAP program, you have two options: without selection screen and with selection screen variant. Okay, so variant. What is the variant? Okay, so let's take the same example as this guy, who our factory guy who executes the report. So a variant is nothing but is the predefined conditions. Okay, I mean you take so and so table and you read me only up to 100 entries or the sorting or filtering, right? You take me only these 100 entries. I don't want the entire 1 lakh of table. Okay, so you try to follow me, please. What I'm trying to explain. Okay. That guy pulls a report and he pulls a report from all 10 tables. Okay. 10 tables, I want to pull the report. And in the 10 tables also, I don't want the whole history of 1 month. I want only particular day, morning 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. what happened. So which means for today and the latest or the 1 day filter. Okay. I want these entries only. Fine. He has put that condition. Now, as I said, it has 1 lakh factories. Okay. So, and then each of them have to go and put that condition. You pull me only 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. and so on, so steps, and you define that program. So it is a tedious job, right? For all of them. So which means you have to define 1 lakh different things and each one is doing. So what you can do is, I have my all 1 lakh factories and any organization has a standard purchase order or standard invoice, right? Suppose if you purchase in a big basket or anywhere, you get a standard invoice. For example, Flipkart invoice. So no matter whatever you purchase, the entries will vary, but you will get a standard format. There is a logo and so on. So same thing here also. So those are nothing but certain conditions or the filterings what you put. So this guy also, one guy can define a variant. Okay, what you can define in variant? It's my daily report as a variant. And in that particular job, all of them can use the same variant because they all want the report in the same structured or the same filtering. Clear, guys? Variant you understood? And in the variant, you can also mention that whenever somebody pulled you can also, so as I said, so the value stored in the variant can be executed during the program. So whenever that guy calls for that job runs, it will find that ABAP program and then it will run the variant and the conditions or the filtering what you have set over there. So if the ABAP program has a screen output as a result, okay, so what do you do? As I said, the report is an output, right? Screen output. So you can send it to this spool, okay? Spool is nothing but a printing mechanism. We will talk about it, what is it, spool and how it works. So you can send it to the spool and spool will process it to the printer if you have a printer connector, or you can simply email. So, you want to send it to your boss, that report, you can simply email. So this is all automated. The job runs. So variant you have defined, all these 1 lakh people, 1 lakh reports has the same variant. So one variant is sufficient. All the jobs will run with the variant. And that particular factory's report will go to the boss, CEO. Or there is an option to consolidate all these 1 lakh reports and send one report also. It's like a background job, another background job. So which will pull all these things. And that's what multiple steps means. You can define multiple steps. First you generate these reports in chunks so that there won't be performance issue. And then you collate all of them together and send one consolidated report. That is also possible. You got it? So that is the ABAP program and then variant. And you can send it to email or you can define it to this one also. So external command. So these two you don't use so frequently, but this one you use very, 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 very frequently. Most of the jobs in the system, okay? Most of the jobs in the system use the ABAP program. So external command. So external command is nothing but if you want to do something on the operating system level. If you want to run some script or program or something, so you have to define an external command. And these external commands are nothing but these are the SAP scripted commands. Okay. So for example, collecting the logs, OS logs. Okay. For example, if you are running update statistics on the database, or DB13 also falls into this kind of category where predefined scripts, it will go to the OS and it will call that and then it will provide it. So, or ST03 performance statistics, right? When you click on ST03 or ST06, so performance related statistics or the buffer related OS data. So such things, if you want to collect them so frequently, if you want to collect them for a day or 2 days or 3 days, so then it comes under the category of external commands, anything to be done on the OS. So external program is nothing but, it is more related to the external command, but this is not an SAP specified one. So it is like a customized program. Okay. So if you want to run some customized, apart from the SAP, tweak something. Okay. So, find from so-and-so day to so-and-so thing, and find me so-and-so log at that particular location and fetch me kind of thing, customization. So like skill scripting or whatever it is, certain things also can be possible, but you use for it an external program. Under the category of external program. So it's just a differentiation, but more or less it all works on the way you define. But an external command is segregated in such a way that these are all SAP defined OS scripts or the commands. Okay. So for you, this is what predefined in SAP external command. This is the 3 word you have to remember. So it's nothing. So this is something which SAP provides you, and external program is something which both of them you can execute at the OS level. So OS level, but it's a customized or specified by yourself. Okay. So these things clear, guys. In a step, these are the 3 things which you can do. Okay. So a job can be triggered. How you can trigger the job? So at a particular time, yes, you can trigger a particular time. You can schedule it. and then you can start immediately also. So if you are scheduled one job and if you want to run immediately, you can run this thing. Or like I told you, one example, 1 lakh reports with variant. So I'm slowly enhancing that one. 1 lakh reports, 1 lakh factories with variant, with same logo, same thing they have executed. And you want to complete report from collateral, completed report of all these guys, all these combined report. Okay, that time what you do? So event, you schedule an event and you don't want to run the job until these 1 lakh jobs are completed. So you schedule another job with an event stating that after the completion of these 1 lakh jobs, you prepare a report combining all those 1 lakh reports. Okay, that is an event. Okay, or after completion of certain tasks or after completion of backup completion, you update my statistics, database statistics, so that I will get a clear picture of what is my data after completing the database backup. What is my database size? The statistics means nothing here. So what is my database size, or what is the free space? What is my CPU consumption? These are the statistics. You want to know, right? How is your database is performing? So you can say that, okay, complete my database backup. After completion of backup, you update my database statistics. Because why backup? Because it is always during the backup, there is some compression and some corrections happen. So it is always good to take after the backup. And moreover, update statistics and backup, if they run both together, and it will lead to a database performance issues, right? Both are like select queries on the database. They both need high RAM, high CPUs. That's why you don't want to do them together. Are you guys following, guys? Example, this database example. So you don't want to do both the things together because they both are database extensive activities. So what you want to do, definitely you have to define a condition that you start the database update statistics, only my DB13 or whatever my database is completed, database backup is completed. Okay. So such kind of activities are event based. Okay. So because you don't know when the database backup completes, right? So in the sense, that maybe 1 hour, 2 hours it may take, but you don't know the exact time. 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 20 minutes, don't know. And that depends on the network, and that day network might be little slow, little more. So there are so many variables. So that's why you can't define the exact timing. So event-based triggers. So these are all called. So that's why you can trigger time controlled and event control. These are two important terminologies, guys. Try to understand. Hope you understood it with the examples. Okay. So now we go with the scheduling and monitoring. Okay. So here these screenshots are little old, but still, no matter whichever screen, you will find the same kind of thing. So in transaction SM36, you define the new jobs. Okay. So first, let's understand. So this is the, you see this screenshot, we will execute in the system also, SM36. Yeah. So job name, this is the job name, Z underscore. So apart from the standard jobs, you always use the Z. G stands for customized. So anywhere in SAP terminology, so wherever you see is Z, right, with role or anywhere customizations, people starts with Z, and that is the standard terminology. So this Z, and it's a customized job, which means somebody is creating it. So it's a job class. What I explained, priority C, and the status is scheduled. I will explain you what is the status, and execution target. Okay, as I said, this is also plays crucial role. If you define this target, then suppose if you have a job class C and then with target and without target. So with target one will always take the priority. Okay, that is why priority purposes. So you define the target group where you want to execute this one. Okay, so and then you have an option immediate start, and then you have an option job frequency. Let's go to the system now. So SM36. So you define the Z underscore, so test, and then like class C, and I am going to define this target host, like, okay, and then what you have, so job steps, and then you have job frequency also. Okay, so you have to click one by one. So start condition, you see, so you have immediate, or if you want to schedule at a particular date and time, this one, or after job, I told you, after backup completion job, you do this, or after an event, in a certain program executed in the system, or an operation mode. Operation mode is nothing but day and time. So this I will explain you later. Operation mode is nothing but, see, your business hours are morning 8 to, let me explain you so that you will get this understanding also. Your business runs from morning 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So morning 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., you don't want to run these stupid reports and stuff because your end users logs into the system and that is very important for you. So what you do is during the daytime, your shift time, you define an operation mode day and you put a lot of work process over the day log. You can logically define, which means if you have 100 work process in the system, all of them works as a day log. Okay. So only hardly 2 or 3 will be in the background, which means you are not letting any background jobs running this time so that all your work processes are available for your end users. Night time. Once your shift ends, your factory is closed and everybody goes home. Nobody uses this system. So that time you want to run all those periodic jobs. Okay. So that time you define a date and then you define around 90 to 70 or whatever it is, 70% of your day log as background jobs as an operation mode. So night operation mode will be. So that is what you can define here. Suppose if you put in the night operation mode, so it will take only the night operation mode what you have defined and it will run in that time zone only. It won't run in any other time zone. Okay. So those are the many options which you have when you have defined SM36. So you can schedule immediate, after an event, after a job, or after operation mode, you can define when it has to run, and so on. So things you can do. So now the next most important thing which you may do, SM36 we may not do regularly, but monitoring you have to do regularly. Okay. So this SM37 I will explain you now. So in the system itself. Okay. So SM37. Okay, so here star, when you put a star, which means you are checking all the jobs. So here if you put, so this is very careful sometimes in any SAP screen. So by default, it takes the user which you have logged in. So if you search with that, you may not find anything and you think that none of the jobs are running nothing. So just to do that, so if you want to see all the jobs, try to, but sometimes in BW system, there will be thousands of jobs. But there you have to give a proper description. And then you have the options scheduled, released, ready, active, finished, and cancelled. I will explain you in the next slide. What are those statuses? So, common sense, it explains finished means it's completed, cancelled means it's completed. These two are fine. Active means it is running. These three are fine, self-explanatory. You don't have to go through anything. But what is the scheduled, released, and ready? It's little tricky. So that we have to understand. So let's execute what all jobs in the system. So based on the too many jobs, if there are too many jobs with this condition, see, so it will take a lot of time. Or I should have mentioned a starting time, fine. So it is starting to list output. At the bottom, you see 100% starting to list output. Yes. So now, so you see here, there is a job name and it is scheduled, fine. So there you see a job which is finished. Okay, first you understand these columns. Job name you'll find, and then spool. If there is any print or any spool you have sent. So job created. Job doc is nothing but some log kind of thing. So job created. So by whom? So this also you will get it. Job created by DD. So again, guys, what I told you yesterday, when you for this background system user, when I was explaining, right? When do you use the system user? When you are using the background mostly, because system user will not expire and it has no validity. It's very, very important, guys. You cannot, if you use a dialog user here, then again, it may get logged or it may ask for a prompt. This is all like a communication, what do we call it? Without dialog prompting, these jobs has to finish. So system users we use mostly. So DDIC is, they're not supposed to use it, but still they use it. That's all right. It's a sandbox system. So then you find the status and you can also see the start date and start time, how long duration, how long it has run, 60 seconds or 61 seconds or whatever it is. And delay also you can find how long it delayed. Okay. So in a glimpse, so if, for example, if they ask you to that, hey, there is a job which was running a longer time than expected, what you do first thing? So you open this, get the job and filter that job and see the frequency. Okay, daily it is running, but daily it is taking only 1 hour, but today it is taking 3 hours of time in the duration. Okay, then you go, oh, there is some problem for today. Okay, there is something is going on, something fishy on the system or in the job or in the network. What happened? So then you have to open the log. So for example, in this one, I double click on the job. So you can, if you click on the job details, so you will get a when-to-when scheduled job, last change, who has changed it, or somebody changed that thing you can do. And then you have general data, you always have, it's a class C, status is finished, that's okay. Target, there is no target defined, and planned start date and all these things you can find. These are all self-ex. So job frequency, it's hourly, it runs. Okay. And then you click on the job log for the finished or the running ones. So error reading the job log. Okay, fine. This is not able to read the log, but generally, sandbox, why it is not reading? So generally the log, okay, error reading the job log. Yeah, this got temp full. I know. This is a sandbox system which has got the very less this pooling or this concept, so that's why it's not able to pull. Don't worry about it. So I mean, you can go to your systems and you can check this job log. Or tomorrow I'll show it in one of the live system. So once you click on the job log, it will tell you what exactly it has done. And then if you have any previous before this, there is a job to be run or successor job after this, what is going to run. So this kind of things you can find in the SM37. It is very important, guys. So start condition, let's see if we have anything, nothing. So, I mean, after an event or after job or those things will be defined over here. Okay. So that's about the SM drill down. I mean, whenever you get a chance, but that is the overview, but it's still just a monitoring thing. So I don't want to too much stress on this one. Now, so this theory is important. Why I'm telling it, in certification, they will confuse you like anything. Okay. So I will try to put it in a very clean and I will try to simplify this whole topic. So scheduled. So scheduled means what is the, you have seen in the screen also, what is scheduled? See, ready, active is fine. Active, finished, cancelled, those three statuses are perfect. So you understood self-explanatory. Active means it is running. So scheduled. So the steps that make the job already have been defined, but the start condition needs to be defining. Okay. So good. So scheduled means, so the job is just told that, okay, you run at that particular this thing, but the start condition still needs to be defined. I mean, when and what to be executed. I mean, when is the question here? When to be executed? Start condition has to be fulfilled over there. Okay. Released. The job has been completely defined, including the start condition. Okay. A job cannot be released without a start condition. Only an administrator or a user with the relevant authorizations for background process can release the job. This ensures unauthorized cannot execute the jobs without approval. Good. So just that I schedule a job. Okay. Hey, you run from evening 6 to 6:30. 6 o'clock you start. But just that. So which means it has not met the start conditions even though you have defined it. So there is an extra authorization level where you have release. So you have to release. An administrator only can do, whoever has the authorization can release the job. Okay. Once he releases, which means that job will run daily at that start condition. I mean, at that particular time. That is the difference. So scheduled means just you define it and leave it, but released is somebody approves it. Okay, you are ready to go. Okay, that's the simple difference. Even during the certification also ask the same call. When a job can execute, when you scheduled it or when you released it. It's very simple. It is released. The job has to be released. Active means it is running. There is no question over there. Okay. And then, so this is the simplest of simplest definition, guys, for this confusion. Scheduled, you defined it, you have not approved or you have not released the job. You always have to release the job for it to be get executed. And then you have ready. Okay. Okay. So ready is after the release. So this you won't get into, this is like just a definition purpose. You don't monitor also regularly. You don't see many also. As soon as you release the job at that particular time, 5 p.m., that job immediately goes to the ready status and ready status to, then it will start running. That's it. Ready means. So the start condition of a release job has been fulfilled. I mean, because you released it by approving it. A job scheduler has placed the job request in the queue for the background process. That's it. So it will place it in the background process, which means at that particular time, it will run without any problem. Okay. So number one, it has been scheduled, it has been released, and then start conditions has met, and it has been put in the background queue. As soon as the background process is available, it will pick up and it will start running. And once it starts running, then it goes to the active status. Or let me go to the, do you guys remember the transaction where I see the users?
SM04.
Yes, very good. Yeah, I see this now. Good. You should follow the course. Good. Anyway, these look simple, guys, but base is always simple. I mean, it looks like nothing, but it is everything. Even though you look like it's a simple SM0 transaction, but it has very powerful information. The application you are running with session type, but fine. So I see you guys in the system. Good. So now, see you here. TCS user 04 is executing SM66 and then 5. So user 7 is in SM50. That's good. SM60, somebody is doing SM65. Good. Then me, SM04, I'm in already. So you know these IPs, client host. This is also important. So which is your laptop IPs? I mean, from where the user is logging in. Someone is doing from RDP, so that's all right. I mean, it doesn't matter where you log in. But this helps sometimes, which region it is coming from, where this request is coming in troubleshooting network issues. Good. So then, okay, how many background work processes we have in the system? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Yeah, or you can just set a filter. That is what I mean to say. They choose and every, it depends on the screenshot or filter, not filter. So you can find it out. Search for the term BTC. Okay, no, it's not this way. Once again. So you come here, type, short ascending. Yeah, now you have all BTCs together. So you can see now 6 processes. Okay. So RZ04, I'm sorry, this parameter will explain you this one. Better to type. Or this slash WP underscore no underscore BTC. Okay. So it is defined in the instance profile. Okay. And then current value 6. Okay. So, I mean, in sometimes you may have to raise the customer support ticket, right, to SAP. So most of the times, the biggest confusion is which component I have to raise. Okay. So if it is related to the background related, you see here. So most of the times, but many of us overlook it. So this is a very important information. So in any dump or in any error, it is important to know which component I have to raise. So SAP maximum tries to give that information, which component this particular thing belongs to, or else you will get lost in the entire version of SAP. The ticket will be floating between one team to another team. Okay. So this is the component in case of any issues with background processes. For example, system is crashing due to background processes. Background processes are not running properly. Okay. So, or they're taking longer time, days and days they're running. Such kind of issues, you always reach to this component, then they will be immediately your ticket will be addressed. Okay. So, and then how do you check all the reports? RSPF PR. So T code to execute any report is RSPF SC38. Okay. This guy. Installation error. So yeah, because it's an IDS sometimes. See, IDS systems are the most horrible systems. Okay. I mean, you never IDS in the sense it's a demo data it contains. So demo data, the term itself says that some of the ABAP programs or standard programs may not work. So don't worry about these errors. But yes, so some of the reports doesn't work, but it will RSPF PAR. If you execute somewhere, it will give you the report. Or I will check it after some time. This server, what kind of system he has installed and why this is not working. Okay. So that is fine. So, but you know how to run that report, SC38, and then you will execute the RSPF PAR report. So it will give you the entire, or you just go to the RZ11. Yeah, that also we can do. RZ11 we already did. Let's see, RZ11 we did, or we have this one RZ10. Okay. Anyway, we have clear, if you want to see the instance profile, so EH8 is the system. So this is the dialog instance. So just do a display. You see the entire all parameters. So same thing that RSPF PAR report also will do. So here you see, so dialog work process 10 are defined, background 6. And I wanted to show you other parameters also. Update 1. So update here 1, spool also 1. So if you want to increase, you always increase. Okay. So let's talk about the RZ04. So operation mode. I told you, right? See, for example, in this case, this guy has defined operation mode 00 to 2359 because it's a standard one system and he has nothing to do in this system. As I told, so you want to define a system during the daytime, you make it as a dialog thing, and in the night time, you do the most of the background things. Out of your shift. So that you can define. So here it is like operating, 1 second. Okay. So here you can change the timelines. This timing. So many, or you first let's see how do you change this one. Okay. So here you see, if you double click on this thing, so you have 10 dialog processes and you have 5 background processes. This is what online changing means in the exercise. So if you want to increase the background process, okay, you can do plus here. See, so automatically dialog has reduced. Please focus, guys. Can you see my screen? So let's see if it increases number of work processes. Yeah. So so there is a limit for the maximum number of work processes configured in a system. Okay. So if you want to increase the background, you come to the background and then you click on this increase. See, it has become 6. So dialog will reduce automatically. So and then it will reduce. So this is how you increase the background process online. So now you just do the same. Okay, so it says number of exceeded the process Fine. So background, let's do reduce. No, don't reduce it. So like this, you can extend now. First of all, I don't think this belongs to this system. CACIT. Let's do one thing. Go back. So production instance status, no. Okay, first let's do from the beginning. Clear. Create an operation mode. Okay, so I am defining the night. Okay, this is how you do. So in the job, you remember there is an option to assign a night operation mode. So if you assign the operation mode, then it will run only in the day. So after the shift, so then save. Okay, see here day and night. So now for the night, you define the timings, operation mode. So first, define instances. Let's see. So they restricted it, but at least let's see if we can assign the time. So timetable. So normal operation mode, exception operation mode. So now change. Okay. So here you can define the change timing. So let's put night timings are like 17 to this one. Okay. So this one. This system. Yes. Assign. So now 17 to 23, we are defining it as a night. So it is asking which operation mode you want to assign. Day, night. So let's put the night. First you create and then save it. Okay. You see, guys, can you see? Am I audible, guys?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
See that.
which means, so from 00 to 17, it will work in this particular normal operating mode. And 17 to 23, it will work in, no, it is the other way around. Suppose, let me go to the, this is only single screen. Okay. So now just understand that 17 to 23, I have assigned as a night mode. Okay. So what I will do now, SM36. Okay. So here I'm creating test_TCS job, any job. So I am defining the class C, that's all right. So let me take the target group, that's okay. This one, this is the same server. And then step condition, so start condition. So step anyway, what you want to do, so okay, fine, let's do that. Step, there is nothing to do. Step, what you do, which program you want to, ABAP program, ABAP external command, 3 options. I explained you right in the diagram. Name, variant, if there is any variant, external command and external program you define. So there, anyway, for now, dummy, start condition. Now you see immediate means it will run immediately. Date and time planning. After job, it's kind of after completion of particular job. After, so this one I want you to focus, operation mode. Okay. So if I give you the operation now, the operation mode, so day, night, this normal. Suppose if you give this night, so what happens? So this job runs only between that 13 to 17. That's it. In any other time, it will run. Did you understand now this concept? Clear? Everybody, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what
Yes.
that target 04. Yes. So now, if you define some, because you don't want to run this thing during daytime, because you know that this is extensively uses so many processes and it is a big report, and you want to run it by the time next day morning you log in. So even though there is some performance impact also, that is fine because it is like night time. I mean, nobody is working on the system. So this is that is what operation mode can help you to do. Okay, good. So that is what they are trying to, and that plus minus also I've explained, right? How to increase the process, but in this system they have not configured properly, but it's okay. That is how you do it, simple. So plus you do online, you can increase the background process. Okay, clear. So now, any questions before I move to the next topic? Has anybody done start and stop of an SAP system? in your landscape? Anyone?
No, not yet.
No.
None of you?
Yes.
That's okay. None of you have done a restart of an SAP system, but
Yes, we have done. I have done.
oh,
Yeah,
you
I'm
have
done.
very good, very good. So now for you, it will be like much more clear. I mean, what you exactly do, and then for others, you will get background, and next time when you do, you will understand more. So, what you have used when you are restarting SAP Control or what any other tool? So, with what commands you stop?
Because it's we are using Oracle DB and your OS is Solaris. So we use commands like start SAP and stop SAP.
Okay. You just issued start SAP R3, stop SAP R3.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That is the easiest way of doing. But yeah, I'll come to that part.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
We can do that through the SAP controls.
Yes, that is the most recommended one, and with the latest kernels, right? So with the latest kernels, SAP is clearly telling to use SAP control only. So there is no other. So all of you, don't get confused how you stop and start with the others. Stop SAP R3. That is easiest. I like it. I don't know why SAP got rid of it. And yeah, they wanted to complicate it also. By mistake, somebody simply stop SAP, they do, right? So they want, so only the administrator who knows the full command of SAP control. To be honest, that is the intention, to making it complicated. Okay. By mistake, also somebody don't trigger that thing. Okay. Now, SAP control is the most, with the latest kernels, executables, they are asking us, they're forcing. They have removed this SAP start SAP, stop SAP also from 770 kernel onwards. Okay. So if you find the latest kernels, so if you give stop SAP R3, start SAP R3, it won't work. Okay. So fine. Good. So now we are going to talk the most important aspect while we are starting an SAP system. So if you remember, we discussed what is the SAP's, we know the three-tier architecture. Okay. So presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. Okay. So now here we are not talking about the presentation, only we are talking about the application and the database layer. Okay. So we have also discussed the ABAP application servers architecture. Okay. Or instances. So you have a central instance, you have additional instances, primary application server and additional application servers. Okay. So what sequence you follow to stop? Do I have to stop my DB first, or do I have to stop my applications first? Or in the starting sequence also, what you have to start and how you have, what is the sequence you have to follow? If you just go randomly and if you parallelly stop all of the things, system won't stop. Okay. So system will go for a hung situation. Then you have to do a reboot and then clean restart of the system. So it is very, 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 very important for the basis consultant, because no one else restart the system effort from you guys. Okay. Only basis guys can restart the systems. Good. So we're going to discuss start process of the SAP system. And we are also simplified structure of the file system. Both ABAP and Java. So what happens when we issue a start system? How does it evaluate the profiles? Okay, that we will discuss. And then starting an SAP NetWeaver AS ABAP with ABAP Central Services. One architecture we will take. So if you, we are going to talk about an application server with CI in it. Okay, that should be fine. I mean, if you understand that logic, so you will understand for any other any other architecture with a little tweak. Okay, so yes, as I explained. So for now, you always remember that you always or you get practiced with SAP control. Okay, that is the best way. So get acquainted with that, and then forget about management console. So that will be wiped off 5 years back. Still, for the understanding purpose, there is a tool called SAP Management Console. From there also you can stop and start, but I don't recommend you and never ever use that. Okay, you are a basis guy, so you need to have the control on the system. That control, if you start using the tools like GUI tools and SAP GUI and all, you never get that control. So I would strongly recommend you get familiar with the Linux, get into the server, and you execute the commands over there, because servers are there. It's very powerful. Once do you know Linux? All of you, little bit. Have you executed?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
Good. That is more than sufficient. You don't need to be an expert in there. So I don't know Linux, but still from last 10 years, I'm managing SAP. So which means it's what you need, and basic understanding is important. So as a basis guy, you always be, for a DB, fine. I mean, if you don't know SQL also, that's fine, because a DB, no matter how powerful with SQL, there you have to write queries and all. But anyway, HANA Studio is there, and only few SQL things you do. But in OS, the more command you get, you will become the best basis guy. Okay. So how do you differentiate yourself from the other basis guys is from the level of understanding or the level of depth or concepts which you have in the operating system. Yeah. So that is where you will be like a champion. I mean, that is where you can rock many things. Okay. Until unless you get OS control or OSS command, operating systems command, you will be always in a dilemma. Where is my problem? What is the issue? What exactly is happening in my system? No. So because, and moreover, OS is the only place where no one can help you. If it is an application layer, SAP GUI, when I say application, so ST22 dumps or logs, SF21, those logs, anybody can see, and someone can give you, a developer, a functional guy can give you some guidance. Go there, check this, do that. But operating system level, stopping, starting, and moving the files from here to there, and then downloading files, and then doing an upgrade or an installation. So these all things happens from the operating system. So those are the core basis activities. So you always get control over there. As much as time you get it, you try to explore the operating system. Okay, whenever you are working in your projects, right? Always keep an eye on that particular aspects, operating system aspects. Good. So this starting of which one I have to stop, where I have to stop. Which system, that sequence we will discuss in details in the next slide. Okay. So now let's do this. Good. So this is an important slide. Too much of theory I have given. Don't worry, I will simplify it. Okay. So this figure describes the start sequence of an SAP system. So as you see here, first you understand this diagram, then rest all will become much easier. So database. So as I said, it's the bottom of the 3-tier architecture. And then you have the application layer. So we are not talking about GUI guys, front end, remove it. Only 2 types we are talking. So the middle application layer and then the bottom database layer. So in the application layer, what all you have? So this one is right side, or you keep it aside, don't get confused. So you just follow me the left side. So database, and then you have an instance with NQ without ABAP dispatcher. So we call it as an ASCS. So don't worry with the term or this explanation with NQ and without ABAP dispatcher. So just understand the term ASCS. So there is an instance with the ASCS, and then you have instance with ABAP dispatcher and NQ. So which is like a CI, and then you have additional application servers. So in any of your landscapes, so let me simplify it. In any of your SAP landscapes, majorly you will find these 3 things. Okay. If you just go to the server and if you see you have an ASCS, okay, ABAP Central Services instance, and then you have ASCS means that. And then you have CI. CI, what I told you, where there is an NQ and message server, which is a CI. That is a crucial one. And then you have additional application servers, AI01, AI02, application instance 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that. Okay. Additional application servers, you can have as many as you want. Okay. So now, so in the start sequence, first thing what you have to start. Okay. So let's say your entire system is stalled. So the general way I would suggest you is forget about anything. Okay, there are some other conditions which you can start the other one first and other one later. I will come to that later point in time. So you always start with the database. Forget about the rest of things. Theoretically, in a certification, they will ask you questions. I will tell you after this what questions may come. So can you start ASCS before database? Can you start CI before database? Or can you start additional application server before database? Such questions will come. So we will talk about them later. But for now, you always, as a basis guy, always think about it. A database has to be simple. So ensure that your database is first, you start with the database. Okay. So once this database is up, okay, then you always start the ASCS server. Okay. So ASCS is nothing but the one with the NQ. Okay. Sometimes some people, okay, so you may get a difference between then CI and ASCS. Okay. So the only thing is some people, they will have ASCS and CI on the same node. Okay. So you don't need to have a ASCS separate node. Okay. So one node is fine. That is called central instance. But some people will isolate both of them. Okay. ASCS, they keep it separate because ASCS will have the NQ mechanism, which is critical for a high availability purpose. They will do an cluster for this particular ASCS because it has the NQ. Okay. For that purposes. Fine. Now, database is up. First thing what you start is ASCS because your NQ has to start first. Okay, locking mechanism thing, ASCS. And then you start the central instance. So central instance consists of, so a web dispatcher, which is like message server, and then NQ. CI you start it. And then you have the all other instances. I mean, AA01, AA02, any additional instances. Okay. So this is the ground rule. I mean, for you, whenever you are starting. So as I said, the middle two things, right? ASCS and CI. In some is 50% of the landscape, you don't find these two separated. Only one node will be there. Where ASCS and CI installed on the same host, you just stop it and start it. That's it. So all your complication is gone. Okay. So I'm stressing it out more only for your deep understanding and certification purpose. Separated these four separately so that I can ask you some questions and then you are prepared for that. So always, so in a simple term, in any other landscape, what is the start sequence? Practically DB, CI, additional applications. That's it. This is your start sequence. Okay. So for starting this ASCS, okay, you have this landscape where there is a database, where there is ASCS, where there is a CI, and then additional applications. For starting ASCS, I said first DB has to be up. Okay. But only one tweaking here. So this ASCS, to start ASCS, database is not mandatory. Okay. That's the certification question. So can you start an ASCS system without the database running up and running? Yes. So only ASCS you can start. For starting NQ, you don't need the database to be up. But for any, this is the only special condition. But for rest all, like your CI, other additional instances, your database has to be up. Because whenever you give that SAP control start command or start SAP command, it will do a check to the database connection, which is R3 trans-D if you have run it. So that will check whether your database is up and running or not. Okay, that is the important thing. Okay, only for ASCS, your database might not be up, but rest all, the database has to be up and running. Okay, that is your start sequence. So can you tell me what is the stop sequence? Can anybody stop? Suppose if I ask you to stop this system, what do you do? And from where you do? What is your stop sequence?
First, first we have to stop applications, then NQ, then database.
NQ means what? CI. You mean, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, good. So simple, guys. So when you are stopping reverse sequence, first you have to stop additional application servers. So use the terms correctly, AAS. So additional application servers, AA02, 03, 04, 05, whatever. You stop all of them. Then you come to the server where there is an NQ and message server, which is CI. You stop the CI. Okay. And then you stop the database. Okay. That is the stop sequence. And one more thing, important thing. When somebody asks you to stop SAP system, are you going to stop the entire thing? I mean, stop SAP. So if I ask you to stop SAP system, what do? You do the entire thing. I mean, applications, CI, DB, whole thing. Anybody? So again, there you have to ask a question. Hey, are you talking about the SAP application or DB also included? So this you have to get it clarified. So in most of the cases, when you change a parameter or when you do some changes, it is always sufficient to stop SAP. You don't have to stop the database. Okay. So when in general, if somebody says stop application, which means you need to stop only SAP application, which means you have to stop additional application servers, and then you have to take CA, stop CA. Or if somebody asks you to take a restart of the SAP system, okay, or you ask him, do you also need this change? This change needs a DB restart? If he says no, then you just do SAP application restart only. So, I mean, stop additional application servers and then stop CA. Okay, good. So this is the sequence. Now, the next question comes to you. Suppose if I have 10 application servers, okay, one CI, one DB. Okay, I have 10 application servers, I mean additional application servers, one PaaS, primary application server or CI, one DB. So if I ask you to stop, okay, so I mean, if we go with the sequence, what I've told you, I mean, stop the application servers first. I mean, if somebody asks you to restart such a system, okay, so as per the normal process, you go and stop additional application servers, 10 application servers, and then you come to the CI, you stop it. Let's keep the DB aside. I mean, DB, if they want it, you stop that also, but we are not touching DB here. So it takes 30 minutes to 40 minutes, right? I mean, 10 application servers, each server you have to log in and then you have to punch in the command that stop SAP, stop SAP, stop SAP, right? And you have to wait for it to wait for them to complete. But it's a very time consuming and it wastes time. So what is the other alternative? Anybody? How do you stop in an entire system in one shot? I mean, except database. Is there a provisioning or can you stop? Did you get my point? So, I mean, logging into each server and stopping takes a lot of time. So you have to take a quick restart. I mean, the best and easiest way. So there is a provisioning. So you go to the central instance, okay? Then there you give the SAP control and command. I will tell you the commands. So then the instance number, CA instance number, and then stop system. So if you give the entire stop system, it will stop the CI. It will also stop the 10 application servers. So which means you don't have to log into the 11 servers, CI and all of them and stop, each and every one by one, you don't have to give. So in one shot, if you give and wait for 5 to 10 minutes, the entire SAP system goes down. I mean, application instance systems goes down. Okay. Then again, starting also easy because you just want to take a restart. So take a starting also, give SAP control -NR 02 system number and then start system. Then it will start the entire system. I mean, including CA and 10 application. One command. So do purpose for all these things. See how much time and effort it saved you. Okay. So in one command, that is why SAP control is the most powerful. And from 770 kernel onwards, SAP is has stopped all the other ways of stopping and starting systems. So they have included this particular only SAP control way. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the directory structure at the operating system level. Okay. The most important directory. So Java you keep aside. So this right-hand two sections are related to the Java. You keep them aside. So USR SAP, SAP SID, which is the EH8 in our case. And then you have a sys. In that you have global, profile, exe, and then you have this DB. So here you see. I said central instance or the primary application server, how it is different from the other instances. The only thing is CI has the enqueue and message server. Okay. So here you see the naming convention. Guys, please pay attention. So when you are logged into the system, when you see a directory on that particular server, DVE, D for dialog, V for update. Let me put you why this naming convention also. E for enqueue. Okay. B for background, M for message server, G for gateway, S for spool. You got it right? So D, V, E, M, B. So E, when you see the word E, you think that it's a CI server. So this is the easiest way of knowing what server you have logged in. Okay. Suppose, as I said, I have seen customers who are using 10 applications. I have CI plus 10 application server. How do you know which one is the CI? So immediately, as soon as you logged in, if you see the this DVE, then you think that it is a central instance. Okay. And if you just see D and then instance number D00, D00 directory, then it is a additional application server. Sorry. So are the application instances. Okay. So this is the simple directory structure of the ABAP. Okay. This Java also, you have SCS, which is the central service. There is the naming, there is no dialog update on all, right? So in Java, they call that's why SCS and then ASCS, where you have this directory. Java, you keep just for information purpose, you have it, but conceptual purpose, if you understand ABAP, then it is very, very easy for you to understand this. So same like log, data work, everything is there. Just that naming convention of the directories varies for Java. But in ABAP, this is the very, very important question. Central instance, the instance directory is naming is DVEBMGS, this one. And for dialog other instances, additional application servers, you have this name, this one. So what all these things contains? What is this global directory? What is this profile directory? Okay. So what are these work directory? Suppose if a system crashes, where you can go and log into this one. First, you understand these directories. What I will do is I will go to the system. So one second. I will open the system. So this one, so that you can connect. So I am in the server. So EH8 system. So before we go and discuss about what all directory, I'm in an ABAP system. So just give PWD. PWD means anybody?
It will give path of present
working directory.
Yeah. Yes. PWD is nothing but present working directory. So I am in SAP MNT EH8. So CD, which is like it will take you to the current directory. So CD. So you are with SADADM. By default, it takes you to the current directory, home directory. So global directory is cd/usr/SAP. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, somebody said increase the font size. Let me increase the font size. Let me put. Okay. Now it's better, right, guys? Okay. So I am in the USR SAP. So just give an ls minus LTR. LTR is the list. LS means list. So LTR is the, if you put L, it will show list, and T means time, and then R is like recursive kind of thing. I don't know the R, but anyway, I generally use this R. time, T for time. It will tell you when was it modified, this one. So always give, or you can give, so you can see the command ls minus L. If you just do this, it will just give you the list. Is there any difference between these two? Nothing. In this case, both are giving the same. If you just give ls, you just get the file names. So this one, so I always give the ls minus. So let me do clear. Okay. So ls minus L. Okay. So you see here cd eh8. So that day trans USR SAP is the global directory. In that you have SID and then trans directory also. Trans we discussed the other day. So EH8 SID. I mean this varies from customer. So we are in the directory EH8. So now you give the ls minus LTR. So you see here. So you have sys and you have this ASCS 01 and then D00. Okay. So here you see only the D00. Let me go to the diagram. Okay, D instance number is 00. You don't see this DVEMBGS because this guy has separated ASCS separately. You understand? Here. So ASCS, he has created a separate one in queue, the one which contains. So basically, it's a single server system. So it doesn't have any other node, any other additional application servers. So he can do this kind of architecture. But in most of the cases on CI, you have DVE and others it is, but it's a different kind of architecture. Don't get confused. He just separated it. But you will find either DV or DE. So now you have an ASCS, you can consider it as an, so see, CI is simple to isolate. Wherever there is an NQ, it is a CI. So however, it is defined either through DVE directory or so the configuration is different. So here NQ is installed here separately. So that's why dialog instance is separated. But both are them on the same host, which means it is your CI, central instance. Okay. So now suppose this is the most important directory, D00. Okay. So let's go and see what all it contains. Sorry. Okay. So as I explained in the diagram, it contains work, data, security, log, exe, and then IGS. So go to the diagram. So we are talking about this middle one. So both are same guys. So this is DVE and this D. So if it is CI, the directory naming will be different, but rest all are same. So don't get confused. So these both are like structure is content is same. Content is like relevant content, instance content only. Log. So data, work, J2E, exe. So here you need to understand only a few directories very clearly. So work directory is the most important. Okay. So whenever your server crashes, I mean your system crashes due to various reasons, whatever the reasons, you always come here. So when we are doing a troubleshooting, I have prepared one nice document for you guys. I mean, let's say whenever your Java crashes, what to do. Whenever your Java crashes, I prepared a list of steps what you do. So this is the most important thing. So PWD work directory. So you will have for that instance related all the work information. So available log. So if you open this, when was the system last available and when was it down? You get all the timings. See, so the system was unavailable from 7:25 to 7:27, only 2 minutes here. Okay, so that's okay. I mean, it just availability. Then 7:27 to 1:44, there is no issues until 9th. So there is only 2 minutes. I think they would have taken a quick restart of the system. Okay. So this availability logs, when was it? If somebody asks you the history of the availability, you can go to this directory and get it. And if it crashed, so you open this dev_ICM work process. So this is like work process logs. So if you open these, so you will get a clue. Suppose if there is a dispatcher problem. So you open the dev_disp. So you get the dispatcher log. So you get a clue of what exactly happened, and then you can raise it to the relevant team, the issue. Okay. So this is the most important directory, work directory. Okay. This you will use day in and day out whenever you are troubleshooting some issues. Okay. Suppose exe. What the second important directory is the cd exe. Okay, so what do you see here? Kernel. Kernel is nothing but it's an executables. Okay, what all executables you can execute in a system? Okay, that's the kernel directory. So, I mean, so you might have heard this is also one of the regular basis activity. They ask you to do a kernel upgrade. Okay, so that time nothing. So it's very simple. Download the kernel from the SAP Service Marketplace with the S user of your project. So copy that to this location. That's it. So replace this content, cp minus c, copy and replace this. So take a backup of this kernel. So, but always remember the guys, whenever you are doing a kernel upgrade, you stop the system. That we will talk in the kernel session. Okay, but for now, you understand this directory contains the kernel details and executables. Okay, this is the important directory. If somebody messes it up, there will be a problem. And the permissions. So as I said, right, SID ADM. So this is the permissions. These files always have to have the SID ADM and SAPC's permissions. Okay, good. This directory is important. Now, what all you have? So global. What is this global? It contains the global data. So let me open that directory. Do we have it here? If we have, no, it doesn't have. So ignore it. So this will come into picture when you have multiple instances, and if there is any common files which needs to be configurations to be done on all the servers, those things will be tracked in the global directories. Okay. So the one more directory, guys, the most important profile directory. cd dot is to go back. So in the user SAP, cd / SAP MNT / profile. Or the shortcut is cd pro. You just do this. So it will take you wherever the profile has been configured. So these guys have put it in the profile. The USRSA, yes, this is always the right path. So cd. So go to the global and SID directory. So if this has been placed in this, it is the correct directory. So it is always in this sys. So I should have gone there directly. Some people will give a soft link to the SAP MNT so that it is easily accessible. Okay, so here global also they have configured in the system. Okay, so profile is the another powerful guys. So profile. Okay, so forget about the old ones. So move. Let me create mkdir. Okay, wd. So I'm making this directory clean. So there are a lot of backup ones. So we don't want them. So I'm taking them all to the trash. Come on, respond. So this server is a little slow, guys. Just bear with me. So I will clean this thing. Started responding. Yes. So they all have been moved to the trash. Okay. Now you see, so there are only 3 profiles you can see in the system. Okay. So the default profile is the most important. I mean, suppose in the case where I have mentioned CI and 10 application instances, so you can communicate from the CI. CI and all those 10 applications. If you define some parameter in default, which means this profile, these parameters will be applicable for the all instances. Okay, because going to the each instance and doing a change of the parameter is going to be a tedious job. Okay, so any global parameters which you want them to be applicable for all the 10 instances, you always update in the default profile, which means they are all available for all other instances. Okay, so this will be the common terminology for any profile. So you always find it EH8, SID underscore DVE or MBGS, whatever I told, or D00, that naming, and then this naming will vary on the virtual name, what is defined for this one. Okay, that's a standard naming convention for the profile and default profile. So this one, same, SID underscore, so ASCS 01. So in ASCS, instance number always different from the instance number of the application server. Okay, then this is the virtual name. So this is the profile directory. So this directory, you come here and then you edit the profiles. Okay, so any questions, guys, in the directory structure? So 3 are the most important ones. EXE for the kernel, and then you have the work directory for troubleshooting and all the dispatcher logs, availability logs, and then you have this work process related logs, RFC related logs. All those will be available over there. Okay, and then you have the profile directory, which is also a most important one. Since I've already given you some context of this profile, if you give the moment, take an example of you have a central instance and then you have 10 application servers. The moment you give the command start SAP or SAP control start, irrespective of the command, the moment you give the start command, what exactly happens? This is a very, very important interview question. And certification also, the sequence of actions, what happens when you give a start SAP? And as a basis guide, this is also very important for you to understand. Okay, when you give in, sometimes the systems may not start as expected. Okay, they may get failed due to various reasons. You want to understand what exactly, which phase it has stopped. Okay, which phase it has failed. So the first thing is CI and dialog instances. I said the moment you give the start SAP command in the system, so there is a process called SAP start SRV. Okay, you can remember this. So this process will be always up and running in the system. So this SAP start SRV thing, what it will do is, so it will first copy the kernel files from the global directory to the instance directories. Okay, so what do I mean by the global directory to the instance directory? I will show you. Okay, so now you are in the profile directory. Let's go. You see here, so let's give the PWD. What is this directory? USR SAP, EH8, and then sys. So it is a global directory. Okay, note down, guys, please. So this one is the global directory. Permission denied, that's all right. So, no. CD, wait, CD, EXE. So this is the global directory. So I'm in the global directory, which means USR SAP, SID, and then sys is a global directory. What do I mean by the local directory? So local directory is the directory, EXE directory within the instance. Okay. So what I will do is CD, so /USR /SAP. Okay. Then EH8. Okay, I am going into the instance D00. Yes, so you go here and you do an ls-ltr, you find an exe directory here. You got it? So this is the local, means this directory is applicable for instance. Suppose if it is in another dialog instance, so it is the same. On each server, you have this local directory and you have this global directory. Global is this one. So your global directory always should have the right kernel. So SAP always, what do you do? The moment you give the start command, start SRV process, copy these kernel files from this location to this local directory. This is what I mean by the copy. So SAP CPE, so this command. So SAP CPE, you see in the diagram. So this one will copy the kernel from the global to the every time when you start it. But anyway, it's a very small thing. And anyway, so SAP CPE means every time you copy, it may take 5 minutes. Don't think the other way. So only it copies the delta amount. Okay. For example, if you change some in the global directory, 1 or 2 files, that files will be copied to this one. Okay. That is the important. So instance profiles. So first what it will read, I told you, default profile. Default profile is for the common for everybody. So first it will read, and then once it copies the kernel from global to the local directory, it starts reading the default profile, global parameters. Okay. And after that, it will pick the instance specific parameters. I mean, for that particular instance, whatever the profile has defined, those parameters will be read. Okay. This is a good interview question. So you have to tell them that, hey, first when I start issue a command, so my SAP start SRV process will start. What it will do is it will copy the executables from the global exe directory to the instant local exe directory, and then it reads my default profile because it has the global parameters, and then it will proceed with the reading the instance profile. So this is the most important explanation which you should give. Okay. So earlier we used to have the start profiles. So now no longer has the start profile. That's why I don't want to discuss about that topic also. So so there are no start profiles for SAP NetWeaver 7.1 later releases, which is from last 7 to 8 years. So all the systems now which we have the this default profile and instance profile, only these two varieties of profiles. Any questions here, guys? Before I go and explain the start sequence again in deep. So I'm stressing it so deep because this one is very, very important for you guys. I mean, I can simply say that, hey, start DB and CA and go. No. So this topic has to be fundamentals has to be get into your brain. Whether you by heart it or you remember it, I don't care. But when I ask you what happens in the start system, this is what is happening, because there is no other easy way of explaining, because its topic is like this. Okay. So now, what happens? Again, I'm explaining in a step-by-step sequence what it is going to do. So the tools you use to start the system, SAP Management Console, SAP Management, these two, forget about it. I mean, I won't recommend it and don't use them. And then you have the SAP Control. SAP Control is the most useful, and last 5 to 6 years, all the latest versions, SAP strongly recommends to use the SAP Control. Then you learn only SAP Control. Rest all is very easy in case if you have to do. Okay? Because SAP Control can be used in the lower version systems also, but start SAP, these other commands cannot be used in the latest version. So that's why I always insist you always focus with the SAP Control. And they are powerful. OS, see, this system OS is slow, but generally OS is very, very faster. Operating system Linux, and don't worry about this one because it's an idle system, too much of data in the system, and it's a shared environment. That's why we may feel little slowness, okay, because it's a training system. But in general, operating system is very, very faster. Okay, so good. Start system. So the moment you, as an admin, the moment first step one, you focus on the sequence, guys. Follow my this cursor. The moment you issue a start command, so it goes to the SAP Start SRV. It's a very critical process. It starts. And then second, it will start the central services instance. So I told you, I'm simplifying it here. CA. So where there is a message server and then MQ server. Okay. Once this is done, through, let's say SAP Control, I'm starting a test sequence. Then third one. So either you start it manually by PAS. Okay, PAS, manually you start individual instance, or you give a start SAP with CA itself, all will start in this sequence. Then third one, primary application server, where there is an ABAP dispatcher. So, and then the work process, this will start as a sequence of 3. Okay, as I said, starting this ABAP services database is not mandatory. So that is why, but primary application and additional database is mandatory. That's why it's mentioned that. So you need to start the database over here. But fine. So you always keep in mind that your database has to be up. But it's very specific inclusion purpose. Now, PAS. But whenever you start the PAS, it will check the database, whether the database is up and running or not. Okay. So if your database is not running up, it will give an error stating that your database is not up. Please do start your database. Same is the case with the additional application servers. Okay. So this is very, database has to be up for both the cases. So, and then fourth, you can start your additional application servers one by one, or in one command you can from the given the central instance and it will start the entire system. Any questions on this before we proceed with the other stuff? Okay, so now there are two important commands I want to show you. I may not restart the system. So two SAP control. So this commands, let's execute it. So SAP control, okay, minus NR. So what is the instance number of this system? NR 00, okay, minus function.
Our comprehensive student metrics ensure top-notch learning experiences. We track engagement through attendance, participation, and video interactions. Performance is measured via quiz scores and assignment submissions. We monitor learning behaviors, including time spent and revisit patterns. Our metrics cover social learning, course completion rates, and even post-course success. With technical data on platform usage and device information, we optimize every aspect of your learning journey.
Okay, so get process list. You see here, this is the another. I mean, you just want to see what all processes running on my system. So here you see displus work dispatcher. It is green running, and then IGS running, gateway running, IC man running. Or the moment you execute this command, if you see there is a this one, which one, gateway ICM, no, message server is configured separately. So if you want to see the message server configuration, so message server, that ASCS, they have configured ASCS separately, right? So ASCS, so you have to give the, if you want to see the NQ or message server thing, so you have to specify the instance number for that. For that, the instance number is different. So, okay, now I go here, minus NR means instance number 01. See, so, oh, sorry, what happened, right? Okay, good. So you see, message server is running, NQ server is also running. This is how you monitor the process. Or if you have one CI and 10 systems, but it is very difficult for you to go and run this on each system. You want to get a glimpse of how is my system. So that time, what you do is go to the CI server, I mean, central instance server, I mean, where this message server is running. So in this case, it is the same host. Just go minus function. Okay. So you just do get system instance. You by heart these things with capital letter, with this thing, there's no other way. I mean, it's going to be your day-to-day life. So you see, SAP control is the program, minus NR is the instance, I mean, notation or the parameter which we give for the instance, minus function is the function, and get system instance list. So now, okay, if you see here on this host, what all things running here. So message server NQ, it is running. So clearly it is saying, and then your ABAP gateway, ICMan, IGS, so which is nothing but your dialog instance. So both are running on the same host. If there is another application instance on a different host, that also will be displayed when you run this command from this one. So if you want to do SAP control help, so let's do that. So what all functions possible? If you don't remember these things, let's do unknown web method, or just do SAP control help. Yep. So here you see all the help relevant for the any command if you need some help. So here examples, SAP control minus function get process list. So on the detailed description of it, those things you can see here. Or let me go. Yeah, these are the lot many things are possible with this SAP control. So get system instance list, and then we go up. So create snapshot, delete snapshot, start system, stop system, all these, see, start service, stop service. Not these services are different. Stop system, start, all these this thing. Suppose if you want to stop the system, so minus function, stop system, minus function, start system, like that. So you just have to change it. So it's very important. You just read these things when you log into your systems. Just SAP control and help, then you will understand this thing. So there will be implementation plans where the commands will be clearly documented. So don't worry. And I always tell you before you are going with the restart of the system or stopping of the system, anything, any activity. So as a basis consultant, you have to prepare or practice or certain things. Okay. I mean, you have to be some best practices, I would say. Sorry, that is the correct word, best practices. If you ask me even now, today, if I have to restart the system, I prepare for the activity. Okay. What do I mean by preparation of the activity? When somebody asks you to stop the system, okay, the first thing you ask yourself or this thing, oh, do I have to stop the DB? Okay. You ask them, what change is it? Why do you need a restart? Okay. Okay. Have you changed the parameters? Okay. If it is just a parameter, then application restart is fine. I just changed the application, SAP system. Okay, theory is fine, stopping the application. So, but you have to prepare. Oh, how many instances in this system I have? What is my CI? What is my DB? What is my, how many servers are there? So 10 application servers, 1 CI. So what is the best way to stop them? All of them from CI. So then you prepare the commands yourself. SAP control, minus NR, CI instance number, and then minus function, stop system. And you don't go to the activity or the approved window. I mean, when see, and moreover in production systems, they don't let you to do the changes anytime you want. Okay, that is not possible. So they will approve a 2-hour window. You know, in this 2-hour or 1-hour window, you please do restart the system, they'll say. And there is a change board, change management. They'll approve you. So that time, don't go there and, start typing commands, SAP control, minus NR, help and all. No. That you should not do it. Any activity, I'm telling you, in Basis. Because during the activity, you just have to execute step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6. That's it. That is where it is the planning. So in a notepad or in an Excel, you prepare the sequence of activities. Okay, first I will show you one implementation plan. So I think we have time. Quickly, I will show you one. So first you have to go to the file, open recent. Yeah. So first you have to go and prepare line by line. Okay, stop this, stop that, and then see like this. So this practice you need to do anytime when you are working. So here there is a Java patch upgrade. So CI, stop the CI, start the system, SAP control minus function stop system. You see this one. So these things you have to do. You have to prepare like this implementation plan. Even though it is such a silly activity, okay, but as a basis consultant, you have to prepare for it. Okay. So, or else during the activity, you may tend to get confused, or you may not be in a right mode, or sometimes your laptop crashes and somebody else has to execute behalf of you. So if that is the case, the other guy doesn't know what to do, or he can't prepare in such a short notice, right? If that is the case, immediately you can put the steps to him or give him before only. These are the steps I'm going to execute. That's it. Whoever is in the shift or if any abnormal things, so that the downtime window is the most important, or your activity fails, then there will be a penalty to the customer, to the vendor, whoever is providing service. So you have failed to execute the activity and my 2 hours of downtime has been wasted. 2 hours of downtime means your production system, the guys are not able to log into the system. So which is a business loss for you. So then they will penalty. So that is why be prepared, and that is the best practice you always have to stick when you are working on Basis, any activity. Prepare the OS commands. Okay, even though it says log into SIDADM, log in with EHADM, SU EHADM, like that. So passwords, note down everything, each and every step, line by line, write it down, and then you go to the activity. So so that you don't miss anything, and if possible, you get that approved with your architect or SME, subject matter expertise in your, then your architects also like you if you start doing this way. And your architect also knows what you are executing. And if there is a problem, he can simply log in and he knows that what sequence you have followed. You got it. You don't have to ask, oh, this guy or girl followed this process. Let me troubleshoot it. So immediately it saves a lot of time. Within 2 hours, activity gets completed. So these are the best practices. Preparation. Preparation is the mantra in Basis, in any activity. So planned activity especially. The more you prepare, the more you execute in dev and test systems, the more you become comfortable in the production. And don't ever just go and execute in production. So if there is a dev system, you only do in the dev system, you only do in test system, and you only do in the production system. It should not be a resource exchange until unless in different circumstances where the resource is not possible, but try to avoid that. So single resource execute on all 3 systems so that you know. Guys, understand that in Basis, if the system is not up in a given time, then there is a penalty for sure. Okay, you might not be knowing, but business will be charging to the vendor that you have, my system was down and so on, so penalty, and they both agree for 50% of loss, and they will do that. So that is why be careful. Unlike functional and ABAP, even though there is some problem, so system will be up and running and others are using. But in your case, whenever you are doing something, there are high chances of there is a business impact. System goes down. Okay, so preparation is the most important, and prepare for the command, get it verified, and then go with the activity. Then you will be confident. And if you stuck with issues, then somebody can quickly jump in and you can show them that these are the sequence I have followed and this is where I am stuck, and they can help you, the seniors. Okay, please habituate because you are starting your careers. So that's why I'm giving you these important those things. So I see many people don't prepare, just come to the activity and start executing SAP control. And they don't even remember in the tension or the pressure mode what they executed before also. So I go into a lot of issues. So I see this kind of this thing. So don't do such things. Okay. Be prepared, plan, go with the right mind, and then with the steps documented line by line. Okay. Good. So that's about start activity, and then the OS activities are the preparations. Now we'll proceed with the SAP node implementation, last topic for today's thing. The exercise on the starting and stopping we can do. We will do it in the last, after 40 hours of session, we will take 1 hour. So that time, even if we mess with the system also, it doesn't matter. So we stop, and if it doesn't come up also, that's okay. So that time we will practice that thing. So now we will discuss about the node implementation. Okay. Good. So do you know what is this nodes? So what does it mean by SAP node? And you can execute one transaction called S node in the system. Okay. So SAP node means, when I introduce the ERP system, I'm just trying to collate with the initials, the architecture, so that you can remember. When I told you ERP first SAP 6.0, and then EHP 8 is the latest version in ERP. S4HANA, a lot of there. First, I'm just taking one example. ERP 6.0, EHP 1. And then every year or 2 years, SAP started releasing enhancement package 2. EHP means enhancement package 2. Okay. So what happened if there is a critical bug in between EHP 1 and EHP 2? Okay. So that those bugs, SAP will release as nodes. So they call SAP nodes. So SAP node implementation. Okay. So some are like information only, but those bugs mainly will be documented in the SAP node. This is a very, very, not very, very important. It's an important topic. Just you understand this. That is the SAP node. From each release to release, in between the releases, if there is any critical bug, SAP will release a node. Okay. So what does this node contains? Okay. As I said, contains a solution for an error in the source code of an ABAP program. So don't go with the technical definition. As I said, bugs. From release in between, there is a critical bug or the source. Obviously, bug means its systems are developed in ABAP and ABAP program error. So it's a bug. So SAP node will describe how you fix that error or how you correct that error. And it also contains the symptoms of the error, the cause of the error, descriptions of how to correct that error, and the release and support valid for it or not. So I will show you one SAP note, then you will understand. I will show you as a starting. So notes.sap.com. I will download one note for you, PDF format, and then I will show you one note. Okay, how a note looks and how you can relate it. So it also contains the support component, who all responsible for that particular bug, and then whom you have to raise the product support ticket. So note is nothing but a bug. So SAP Note implementation. So this is the service marketplace. So you can just click on this service.sap.com and then log on to this and just service.sap.com notes. Once you go home, you try this one. Okay. So then where you find a lot of notes, just put Java issue or web issue or something, you will find just an information purpose variable. So you remember service.sap.com and then notes you give. Then you will find the service marketplace. These details. I will show you one note. Okay. One note. Okay. Now next comes to the most important question. How do you implement these nodes? Okay. So service marketplace, you have this SAP service marketplace. So in S node, EH8, let me log into this. I'm not sure if we have the access to this. Good. So we have the access to the node. Yeah, there are a lot of nodes. There are a lot of new nodes. These are the nodes actually. So inconsistent, leave about it. So here you see the buttons, implement SAP node, set processing status, check SAP node, and then logs. Fine. So download SAP nodes, download latest version of the SAP nodes. These are all things we are going to talk now. So this is what I mean to say, the diagram. So see, instead of diagram, if I explain here, it looks much implemented. So you just give the node number here, what you want to implement. Let's not do here because this system doesn't have connection to the service marketplace. Generally, each SAP system or the customer system will have an OSS connection defined in RFC, SM59. Let's see if we have something like that. Even though there is, it doesn't work because it's a test system. So here in connections, so this system, SAP OSS, no, it is not there. So just try to understand. So this each system, production systems connected to the service marketplace through this RFC connection. Okay, that you understand. So when I give S node, okay, so when you say implement SAP node, you give the node number or the bug fix number, it will connect to the SAP service marketplace through the RFC connection and it will download to the system. Clear? It will download to the system and then it will implement directly with this. No. First you download SAP node. Sorry, my mistake. First you download the SAP node here, then it will download and it will appear like this here. You see here. So now then you just select this node and then implement SAP node. Okay, let's not do this. But anyway, I just executed. So yeah, this SAP node does not contain a valid correction or instruction. Okay, that is how you have to do technically. I mean, as a basis guy, you don't have to understand anything more than this thing, what I've explained to you. So number one, the issue comes when your system doesn't connect to the SAP service marketplace. That is the issue you have to fix. That's why I explained you. So then you have to go to the RFC connection, find the RFC connection, OSS, okay, SAP OSS. So then you see RFC connection works or not. If not, then correct it. Okay, ask for the credentials from your customer or from the whoever is your project head, whoever or the architect of that landscape. They will provide you the details. That's it. Hey, tell that if this RFC connection is not working, service marketplace, we are not established. First thing that you have to troubleshoot. So these node corrections and all are like ABAP related. As I said, it's a programming bug. So your task is to only implement. So just download and then implement. Simple. Okay. And then read the node. Don't just implement it. So you, from the, I'll show you one node, how to read it and where you can get that one. So then, good. So correction instruction. So yeah, S node we have seen. So here we have the Yeah, this modification, adjustment, modification, this is we will talk about when we are talking about this packs, SP patches. Okay. In this case, we are nothing. So we just have to download and then we have the update and correction instructions. This contains this S node. So this SPAU and all will come during the part of the packages. Okay. So here it says service marketplace, download it and then implement it and then correction happen through that S node. Okay. So now what is the next slide? Example. So this is the definition of it. So it's a tool implementing SAP correction instruction. It is now possible to implement corrections. So just you try to understand it's a tool to implement these corrections. So once you implement in the correction in a development system, so you follow this transport path. Simple. So that node corrections can be tracked in a transport request, and that transport request can be passed to the test system and production system, because you don't want to execute this S node in the production. Generally, it is not recommended. So, okay. So here is the important question. Where do you generally execute, right, development corrections or the S node node implementations? In which system? In a 3-system landscape. Dev and test and production system you have. It's a certification question again. Which system you implement the nodes? Okay. Is it a dev or test or prod or all systems? Anybody? Anyone has an answer for this question? Okay. So that's why you have to, what I said about S node. These nodes. SAP nodes are nothing but corrections to the fixes or bug fixes, ABAP, right? So where do you do the ABAP corrections? Development. In development system, right? So that is why I am explaining this. So you always do these node implementations in dev system only. Okay? Dev system, and those corrections or the changes I told you, right? So we always follow the path of transport request. Any customizations or changes, you remember when we are talking about transport. So any ABAP develop, so those node implementations also like corrections, right? ABAP corrections, bug fixes. So those are tracked in transport. That transport will be moved to the quality and then production. So you don't have to do the node implementation in quality and directly S node. So S node implementation we only do in dev, and then we carry those changes or the corrections to the dev, test and production via transports. Clear? That's why I have explained you this. So it's like distribution of corrections across the landscape. So any questions here? Okay. So since we don't implement it, I will give you the exact screens what it's going to appear when you implement a node. So I've showed you S node. First, you have to download the node and then select it and then implement it. So if it says tick mark like this, okay, which means it is implemented successfully. So all these statuses are new. So we don't have anything in the status completed status here, or these are inconsistent and means which are problematic nodes, which you should not implement. Okay, this is in processing. So this one just I click now. Okay, so good. Let's go to this. Sorry. Good. So it says tick mark means it is implemented, and then new in process, and those states you can see. So, okay. So this is like finding SAP nodes, downloading SAP nodes, checking nodes. Either you go to the service.sap.com or you go to the S node. Here, if the connection is established, you can find if you know the node number. So as you can see, a lot of new nodes are available here. So you see whichever is relevant for this code or for this system. And if developer says that, hey, I am getting the syntax error, please, they will tell you what node to be implemented. Okay. So most of the cases, which node and stuff, which we don't have to, basis guys have to do, but our task is to execute. That's why I'm telling, don't worry too much about the node thing. You worry about the implementation part, but it's for your information. These are all. Okay. So then, node assistance. So just you check this one, download. When you click the download, it says node number. So you give the node number here. You see the screen, follow the screen. So and so node number, it will download. And then, so this is the overview of the node. Then load it, check it, classify whether it is which kind of node it is, and then you implement and then check the logs. Whether this is an overview of Load means download only. Okay, don't worry too much this term. Load is just you are downloading it, and then you check the node, and then you classify it which category it belongs to, and then you implement it, and then logs. So this classification also, which we don't do generally. So these guys, up to this classify part, our developers only do. Only when they are facing issues when they are downloading, then they will tell you, hey, I'm not able to download so and so node because I told you what to troubleshoot. Could be an RFC connection issue between your SAP system and then the service marketplace. Okay, so here you downloaded. There is one more option. So which base is important? If the RFC connection is not working from the system to this, there is another option. So log into the service marketplace with the credentials, with your customer credentials, they will provide you, or they will give you directly note. Okay. So they don't want to share the credential to you. What they do is they will give you please implement this node, and they download and they'll give you to your via mail. So that time you can upload the nodes from your local laptop. So like this. So S node, then upload. So let's see if we have this button. So where is this one? Download, upload, node browser. There should be an option, SAP node. Check SAP node, display, edit. Corrected objects, download latest version, check SAP node browser. So let's see this one. So this is the browser. So second, this latest version, if they have removed or what, this one. Where are you? Exit. Go back. So we allow, wait. Okay, this is like executing background and stuff. Fine. So I will check it out. So it should be there, that option. Okay. So, or in these latest versions, if they could have removed it, but I don't know, it should not be removed. I will show you tomorrow. Let's not waste for the time because we are almost reaching this one. I will explain. So this is how you can download, because the theme has been changed. I mean, the UI is different, so I'm not able to find it. Don't worry. I will show you. So you can they can give you the direct node downloaded one. So via mail or this one. So you have to upload in the system. You have an option. So then you upload it. So then in processing, it's just implement SAP nodes. So it will appear on the screen what I've shown you in S node. Implement, and then you see the logs like this. So once you implemented, this node has been implemented successfully, this tick mark here. So here it will give you the logs. So see, inconsistent, this I've shown you in the system. Okay, in HX system, inconsistent nodes. So these ones, don't touch it. So these are bad nodes, basically. I mean, bad nodes in the sense, for this version, for your version of the system, for your version of the SAP system, those nodes are not applicable. In the sense, those nodes fixes could have been provided to you when you are upgrading the EHP. I mean, your enhancement package or the support package. So that is why they show it as an inconsistent. So, I mean, transport, node corrections, you can put it in the transport and then you can take it to the dev, test and production. So let's see the EH8. Let me close. Why this one is not giving it? It's not. So here, inconsistent system. Let's do nothing. Set processing status, check corrected object, download SAP node. Okay. Do we see something? Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do. See, this is the thing. So SAP OSS connection, I told you, right? So if when you are trying to download, it tries to connect and establish a connection to the SAP OSS. If it doesn't work, then this OSS connection you have to check. Okay. So now the next question is, where is the option to download, upload environment modification, edit browser, go to yes, very good. Here, can you see guys here? Suppose if your OSS connection is not working, okay, so somebody provided you the directly note that, because they don't share you the service marketplace credentials, because you can download licenses and stuff, right? So they don't give you. So if it is simple note, so you just click the upload, the application wants to upload a file. Yes. Yeah. So it has taken me to my desktop. Okay. So you just select the note and then upload. After you upload it, so it will come to the new or in processing status. So you select the note and then implement the note. It's just very simple and straightforward.